It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.
And folks, you follow my career, you know I've done a lot of great things, but this one really goes down for me as one of the top ones, and that is joining us live right now, living legend, Cousin Brucie. You hear him on the weekends, but he is the man, and Cousin Brucie on this Veterans Day 2025. Thank you so much for joining us live.
Thank you very much, Cousin Dominic. You know, when I hear you say living legend, that scares me a little bit.
Okay, but it's true. But it's true.
It's frightening.
But it's no. There are so many things I want to ask you. And so let's start with Veterans Day, right? So what we know, going back to the 60s, that your radio shows, Cousin Brucie, were popular among service members, including Vietnam veterans that were scared for their lives, and you gave them a moment of solace. How does that make you feel?
That's probably my proudest moments of service. You know, I was in the infantry and the Air Force, by the way, and very happily served this nation that I love. But I think my most proud moments are what you just talked about. But, you know, it all started really, I met a serviceman. He was a sergeant, I believe, in New York City. I was walking around, and he came up to me and thanked me for the music. And he said, gee, the things we miss overseas when we're over there in foreign countries serving, the music, that's so much like home. Well, right away, the lights went on, and I realized, yeah, that is probably the best thing I could do. So I started recording my shows. I made a deal, I believe, with the USO and the government, and they sent over my tapes. And to this day, Dominic, Cousin Dominic, I meet people in all walks of life who served, say, in Vietnam, God bless them, and they say to me, you have no idea when we were in the foxholes or we were in mud deep to our knees, and we heard your voice and we heard the music that we grew up with. It was like being home. So you hit it on the nail. I think that's my happiest moment and my honor to have served like that.
It's remarkable. I mean, men that were dodging bullets, men that did not know if they were going to live another 5 minutes listening to your music. So you knew what you were doing at that time, correct?
Yes, I did. I knew that this was an integral part of bringing people home or making them feel more relaxed. Because, you know, I don't know, have you served, Dominic? Have you been in the service?
No, and it's one of the regrets of my life. I thought about it, and I wish, Cousin Brucie, that I had.
Well, listen, if the time was right, don't be regretful, because, look, but the time was right, and you were right, and the service was right, you would have served. I really go back to being a young man, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to do this. I did not see action. I'm not going to tell you that. But I went through all the training, and I went through the mud with the bullets whizzing over me. And,
wow.
Wow. And it's something to this day, you know, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I'm very happy what I do. I love what I do. But I'm very grateful that I went through that. And I'm going to say something that I hope is not going to offend anybody, but I wish my kids could have had some of that experience too. It meant a lot to me growing up and my maturity. It changed my outlook on life and realized that, hey, it wasn't all with mom and dad going to the supermarket and having a burger. You know, we had some serious things to do and learn. And it was, I'm not going to kid you, it was kind of scary, especially the nighttime stuff. But then I found my true road, sending those tapes to our men and our women who are serving overseas. That made me feel so good, and I realized that this was a most important part of my life.
And so you knew Cousin Brucie and sending those tapes. Like, we're hearing the stories. And again, this is going back to the 60s from veterans that you were there with them in foxholes. And we know the stories of the ones that lived because they've told us about it now. But you may have very well been the last voice that some of our soldiers that did not make it, that they heard. Have you thought about that?
Yes. Yeah, we're talking very serious things here. And what I try to do, obviously, is bring happiness and bring warmth and familiarity to all our listeners like you do, Dominic. And so you try to sort of get rid of the negativism, and I try to turn that into something positive. So during my service and my service with my broadcast, this is what I do. This is the positive part, to make people feel at home, and that's so important. They give them I guess it's a security. When I meet these people on the street, I'll never forget. I was on Broadway down there. I'll tell you a quick story. I was on Broadway doing Grease, and during the intermission, they brought up some people to say hello. They were doing dances on the stage. I was giving them prizes, and one of the men came up to me out of nowhere. He put his arms around me and hugged me so tight that I lost my breath. And he whispered in my ear, "Thank you, you saved our lives." And I tell you, then he explained what he meant. And it was those tapes that, well, that were just such a simple thing and safe thing for me to do. But wow, what an opportunity, right, to take care of people and to help bring them home and feel at home. That's so important, Dominic. Feeling at home when you're overseas. Wow.
It is remarkable. Do you ever stop, Cousin Brucie, and think about your role in history, the many things that you've done, the impact you've had on America, the impact you've had on the world? Do you ever seriously stop and pinch yourself and think about it?
Once in a while. And you know what happens when somebody comes up in the street, like I said, I was a boy. I was 10 years old, Cousin Brucie, and you found me. He was a Boy Scout, and he was lost somewhere up in the Bear Mountain. And I started broadcasting to, help find them and to tell them to stay where they are. So that's when I really start thinking about an impact. Because honestly, it's something that you and I do every day. We love our business. We love what we do.
Indeed.
Right? And we don't realize how important it is to our listeners until one of the listeners comes up and gives you a big bear hug. And then you realize, wow, this has been a good life. I've accomplished something. I love it. I love what I do, Dominic.
And I don't ever see you slowing down. Just like the legendary Gabe Pressman. And Gabe told me he was never going to slow down, and he didn't, even until the end. So,
right.
So, Cousin Brucie, I don't even want to ask you what's next for you because you're going to keep entertaining the world. I know you are. But do you ever stop and think about how many major careers you started yourself for other people?
Well, that I get once in a while. It's really nice. Fortunately, we have a thing called the Internet, so at least once a week, I get a thank you note from somebody who's now a broadcaster like you and I, and they thank me for simulating what they wanted to do. So, once again, I bring back to the same thing. It's always, Dominic, the listeners who remind us, about our important work. It's the listeners. And that's how I built my career, Cousin Dominic, right? I realized, hey, we have technical great things. We reach all over the world. I'm reaching Tokyo. I'm a morning show in Tokyo, all over Europe today. But, that's really nice, the technical part. But the most important part, when somebody comes up to you and says thank you, and then you realize what you've done. But otherwise, it just goes on. We just love what we do. But it's so nice when we meet somebody on the street that we've helped.
Cousin Brucie, I could go on forever with you, and I can't keep you on the air too much longer. But I'm just curious, when do you get an opportunity to rest your voice?
I don't remember the last time. Cousin John and Margot have decided that they're going to give me a 40-year contract. And I explained to them, 40 years, I don't think so.
Man,
there's no time to rest. You know, we love what we do. So it's not a matter of rest. It's a matter of keep on going and bringing people joy. That's what I like to do.
And so every weekend when you do your show, how do you feel going in? I'm going to come back to Veterans Day. How does Cousin Brucie prep? You have all these DJs that have come after you. None of them are Cousin Brucie. All right. Number one. Number two, how do you even prep, considering that you're a living legend and every time you hit the microphone, it's history?
Well, I don't prep.
No.
I just pop.
Wait, Cousin Brucie, I guess how many years you've been doing this, Cousin Brucie?
Oh, Dominic, you're asking me a very tough question. A long time. Matter of fact, you're a very smart man. You can tell people how long it's been. I don't remember. And you know something? I don't care. I just love what I'm doing, and I want to continue as long as people want to listen, as long as I have breath and I can make it to a microphone, I'm not going to stop.
And do you realize how many generations of family members have listened to you, one generation to the next?
Yep. I'm a very lucky man, a very lucky guy that I was going to study medicine, and I still maybe if there's another life, I will. But you know, I am medicinal. I know that because music is such a great medicine.
Oh, you definitely are.
Music is love, and love is medicine. Yep.
You know, I got a question on a personal level. So you have helped so many careers of major stars, and many of them happen to be of color. Why have you helped so many black entertainers get their careers going?
Well, because it's part of my love and part of my life. You know, when I play a record, I don't look at racial things, at religious things. I listen to the poetry, and I don't care where a person comes from, what's the origination. The most important thing, Dominic, is what is that music saying? What is it giving to my heart and my soul? And then I want to return it to the audience. That's all that counts. You don't look at pictures. You know, I like to look at beautiful women. But when it comes to if somebody's black or white or red or yellow, doesn't matter. What are they saying? What are they singing? What is the soul in this delivery? And that's all I care about. And that's what I try to do. And I'm very careful, Dominic, what I play on the air. I'm very careful what I say on the air. But everything I say comes from my heart. And I hope that the music matches it.
I have 2 minutes left here, and I could go on forever with chatting live with Cousin Brucie on this Veterans Day 2025. So what should this day mean to you, Cousin Brucie? And again, to people that may be just joining us, people in the Vietnam War, right? It's documented many cases in the foxholes would listen to Cousin Brucie's music and him being a DJ, and it kept them going in a foxhole. So what does and you're a veteran yourself, what does Veterans Day, what should it mean as far as Cousin Brucie says?
Well, it should mean the following, that somebody is with them, that they know that the nation, that their parents, their loved ones, their religious leaders, their education leaders are with them. That's a very important part. The poor guys and gals in Vietnam, they knew that a lot of people were not with them. And I just think the most important thing for our men and women in service today and yesterday is that they know that the nation is with them and they're supporting everything they do. And they're saying, guys and gals, come home. Stay safe. Come home. We're with you 100%. That's what it means to me. We're with you. Come home.
Wow. Cousin Brucie, on behalf of a grateful nation, I want to say thank you. Man, you are the real deal. And I don't say that lightly. I have such admiration for you and what you've done for our country. Thank you so much, Cousin Brucie.
Thank you. And I am very honored to have served, and I know that it was a responsibility, but I love that I had the opportunity. I'm greatly honored.
The one, the only Cousin Brucie.
It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.